So this is part 30. How the hell did I get myself here? This is a story about me becoming an international smuggler, an amateur helicopter pilot, and how I worked my way through the federal prison system and lessons I learned and that I still carry today. Look, the price you pay, you'll never know. So be very careful with the decisions that you make because they can affect you decades later. Here we go. So I'm in Florence, Colorado. We've just dropped off the national leader of the Aryan Brotherhood, one of the most dangerous people in the United States at the time, at his new facility in ADX, Florence, Colorado. All of these places, I urge you to look up. If you've got any questions about previous, leave them in the comments, and I'm happy to go through and answer anything I've left out or just curiosity. So we go down there. I'm there for the day or so, and we're back on the plane again. So I'm getting really quite comfortable with Con Air. So in each one of these legs, you're taking it, you're getting processed in and out. There's nothing really exciting happening, the people you meet. But the next leg was interesting. You're still in those free world clothes because we weren't off long enough, or we weren't really processed in. And I didn't understand that till the next stop. Up in the air we go again, Con Air, JPEG flight. I think I was sitting next to a guy that was cashed a bunch of fraudulent checks in Alaska. He was not an interesting dude, but all this trouble for cash checks, and like I said, it was just a mosh mish of people. But the next place that we landed was Oklahoma City in Oklahoma, and it was an interesting airport because now as we land, you can see all the oil fields off to the right, the terminal, and we landed behind a Southwest flight in front of us. I think Oklahoma might be the home of Southwest or something like that. Lots of flights, it's a busy airport, and we landed. And this is the first time that we're landing in an airport with other planes, so this was a bit of a unique experience. Southwest flight, I could see out of my window, was peeling off to the left, but oh no, that's not where our flight was heading. We were going to the right. So we peeled off to the right, and we sort of taxied away, and we pulled up, and I could see a building, and I kind of figured that was a jail. And this was a unique place that we were at. We were at the processing center for the federal inmates in the entire United States. I believe they process about 130,000 inmates there a year, and this was your main center that you're going to be processed and then really split out to where you need to go. Like hundreds of buses leave here a day, and when you pulled up in that plane, essentially you were now in a federal prison. So I'd been in a few feds, but this is where you're getting processed into the federal system. And I would lose my free world clothes at this point. But we pulled up, the door opens, and there's actually a gangplank at this one. All the others, we just left via the stairs, where this one, just like at a normal airport, it comes out, and there's just a line of guards waiting for you. As the door opens up, you're shuffled away, and you're shuffled up the gangplank, and bang, you are in a federal facility. And it takes on a different look. I'll say it's a bit nicer. It's just built differently. Federal system doesn't have bars. Everything's solid. It's just got a different feel about it. Federal over state. They always said they've got lots of money, so some of them are privately owned, but this is the main hub. So off we go, and we're going to go through processing. So first of all, you are dressed out. Again, let's get naked, get your junk out. Let's have a look. You're processed out, and they say at this point your clothes, you can either have them sent back to your family or you can have them donated. So my family don't even know where I am. My friends don't know where I am. So at this point, I bid farewell to my new get-up, and they are given away to charity, which I'm okay with. They're given away to charity, and you are now sporting the khaki outfit, the split outfit with the shirt and just a plain white tee underneath, or khaki, or it just wasn't washed right. And you are sporting the pink underwear, boxers, which I will wear for the next foreseeable future. And dark blue Jackie Chan shoes. Everything is like shit. I think you get one pair of socks. Well, you get your bedding. And look, the guards at this place seemed a little bit nicer. I thought they were in the joking mood, and as they're processing me in and telling me which floor that I'm heading to, or which they just gave me a couple of numbers like E7A. And they actually allocate you a bunk as well. So I was on a bottom bunk, which means I had a little bit of status. I'd just been sharing with so many people, so I asked were there any mints on our pillows up there, but again, tried to make a joke. It didn't really land. I tried to draw upon my comedian days, but at this point I was going to give up on the comedy and just succumb to everyone was just not in a good mood on processing day. Now, I will say on fly days or JPEG or whenever prisoners were being moved, the phones and everything were shut down in all facilities, and everything went dark until the flight left, let's say, Oklahoma, and got to or left Albuquerque and got to Oklahoma. Both facilities are locked down, so everyone was pissed off when you got into those facilities because they had no access to the phones, because until we were in and processed, then all communications would come back and you were allowed outside the pod, or could go down to medical or just get on the phones. So that lady didn't like that, and I was processed upstairs. Look, this was the first time I felt somewhat, I wouldn't say normal, but when I got into the cell that night, I didn't have a cellmate. And I got to be honest with you, I thought the way that I felt over the last 3 weeks to month of bouncing around to different facilities is not to have a roommate. I had a toilet inside the cell. I could actually take a dump in privacy, and just be by myself. It was if you had have offered me, the penthouse suite at the Bellagio, but I had to share it with one other person, or have that cell on my own, I would have taken that cell. That's how good it felt that night, is not to have one single person in there and just have some privacy. So I thoroughly enjoyed my time. We got in there quite late, so they opened the door and threw in a sacked lunch or a sacked meal. And hey, it wasn't bad. It was the first time I had some privacy and had not a decent meal, but I could actually stomach the sandwich, and the fruit was fresh, and I had a little thing of juice. So things were looking up. I was in Oklahoma, baby. Stay tuned. Any questions, please don't hesitate to hit me up. And I've only just started saying this. Hit the like button if you like these series, but I digress. Let's get on to it.